I hope my fellow South Africans will get to hear me out on this. Ever wondered why Paul Kagame is the only African president that has supported South Africa's stance in curbing illegal immigration?
But of course, when it comes to Africa, I'm sure many people in this audience will have made the same observations. I think we must take responsibility and accept our failures in dealing with these matters.
Now there is hope for me. At least there's an African country. I can easily seek asylum in Rwanda, knowing that the president of Rwanda is a courageous and honest man, and he will protect me, because at this point, I'm in that place in my life where I think soon people like us will no longer be allowed to exist because our opinions are not the same as others. My name is Lillian, and I will appreciate a like on the video. Remember to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave your opinion in the comment section of this video. Now, let us get into the business of the day. Right now, the entire continent is against South Africans for simply asking their fellow Africans that do not have documents to remain in South Africa to go back to their various countries or the next available country and then come back legitimately. Due to that singular demand by South Africans, it's as if the entire continent is against the people of South Africa. But in the face of all of this backlash, all of this bitterness, all of the we helped you, we gave you oxygen, we delivered you from the Red Sea that fellow Africans are telling South Africans, there stand a country and its leader that is fully in support of South Africans. He did not just stop by supporting them, he pointed the reason why Africans are angry. Let's get into it so you hear directly from the horse's mouth.
Rest from that. But let me say, I followed what was being discussed for the short time I've been here, and I think there are good points being made about conflicts, the causes, and possible way forward in resolving them. But of course, what is very common is there will be old conflicts and old causes of the conflicts. There will also be new kinds of conflicts, as has been said, and possibly new causes as well. But what has been mentioned by the panelists that is important, the constant should be the kind of politics, the kind of leadership, the governance in place so that these old or emerging causes or conflicts can be resolved. This is key. And another way to look at it also and raise a question which we must answer is, for so long we've discussed conflicts, causes of conflicts, and actually have quite a good idea as to what is needed for such a conflict to be resolved. Now, the question is, if we have analyzed conflicts and the causes, if we really have a good idea what all this constitutes, then what? So it comes therefore to the point that the leaders therefore should be there to deal with these problems. And here I'm not even proposing that there is one leader who can resolve conflicts alone, or that there is even a silver bullet for these conflicts. Therefore, it's the management of all these processes and what we have identified to be the root causes. But of course, when it comes to Africa, I'm sure many people in this audience will have made the same observations. I think we must take responsibility and accept our failures in dealing with these matters. For example, relating to what President Obasanjo has just said, on the case of Boko Haram, or you can use that for many other cases. For me, when I'm watching on television and I find our leaders who should have been working together all along to address these problems that commonly affect their countries, wait until they are invited to go to Europe to sit there and just, it's like they are made to sit down and address their problems. Why does anybody wait for that? What image does it even give about us, about Africa? In fact, the image it gives is that we are not there to even address these problems. We are there for a photo opportunity. We are happy to sit there in Paris with the President of France and address and just talk about addressing problems. It doesn't make sense that our leaders cannot get themselves together to address problems affecting our people. It doesn't make sense. Of course, I'm saying this painfully. On the other hand, that I look forward for the time when I can be like the two former presidents. I think they are more free to say things than I do. Being where they are and me being where I am. So I tend to remain with some reservations about what I have to say, because, but I think there is that serious problem. African leaders, we don't need to be invited anywhere. Rest from that. But
I hope my fellow South Africans will get to hear me out on this. Ever wondered why Paul Kagame is the only African president that has supported South Africa's stance in curbing illegal immigration? Well, I'll tell you why. That's because Paul Kagame has Rwanda in order. That is why you don't find Rwandan people flooding into South Africa illegally. And you know what's also honorable about this man is that despite our diplomatic tensions with Rwanda, he is supporting our stance. Whereas all these other African presidents who have been nonchalant about this whole thing, or who have been calling us names, saying we are xenophobic, saying we have Afrophobia, because they don't want to take accountability for the chaos that's happening in their country that's causing their people to flood into South Africa, it's better for them to call us names. I was having a conversation earlier this morning with a friend of mine, and this friend of mine is from another country in Africa, and they were asking me how I feel about this whole March and March situation, Abahambe situation. And you know, I said to this friend of mine that before I answer your question, may I first ask you a question? And perhaps when I ask you that question, it will give you an answer to what you're asking me. How would you feel if people broke the law to come into your country? And some of these people who are even breaking the law to come into your country further go on to do illegal acts in your country. And the moment I asked that friend of mine that question, that's when it actually dawned upon them that actually we are fighting for a good cause. And I further went on to say to this friend of mine, I was like, also imagine this. Your country has issues, right? And amongst these issues, you have challenges, whereas there's unemployment, there's corruption, there's issues concerning government. And in all of that, with the little benefits you have or the little privileges you have to share them with people who have come into your country illegally. How would you feel? And I think that's what other Africans need to ask themselves, and not listen to this false narrative that we are xenophobic as South Africans and that we have Afrophobia, because that's not true. The only sad thing about this whole situation is that government could have done something before this matter came this far, where citizens had to take matters into their hands. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And when something like that happens, then citizens have to take issues into their hands. So, Paul Kagame will always be my guy. Always.
He almost called somebody's name. I mean, he almost mentioned the president of my country. We Nigerians are not angry when you call our leaders out. So next time, sir, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, if you want to call our president out, don't worry, feel free to call him out. We Nigerians are not going to comfort you. We know what you are talking about. Instead of throwing shade like this, next time, feel free to be the Donald Trump of Africa by going on to mention names, because I mean, who is that president that frequently visits France and the UK? Every morning, my beloved president goes to France. So, sir, next time you want to talk to our president, His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, do not be diplomatic about it. Go straight to the point. We like it raw. We love your courage because, number one, we Nigerians, we love courageous people. Even though we try to silence them when it's not in our interest, we love courageous people. Now there's hope for me. At least there's an African country. I can easily seek asylum in Rwanda, knowing that the president of Rwanda is a courageous and honest man, and he will protect me, because at this point, I'm in that place in my life where I think soon people like us will no longer be allowed to exist because our opinions are not the same as others. The constant threat to life, the intimidation, the emotional blackmail. Sometimes I do wonder, what if I'm no longer needed here? Where can I go seek for safety, knowing that I will be safe? Finally, for me, I found a country, and that country is Rwanda. It feels good to have a courageous person stand by you in time of difficulty. I know this too shall pass for South Africans, but it could be a difficult period for anybody, because the way people backlash you, accuse you of things that you didn't do, even though they know the truth, they see the truth, not because you have done anything wrong, but because you say to them that they should sit up and be responsible. That is all. You cannot make South Africa the storeroom for the continent. It is not allowed, because that is coming with a lot of crime in the country. It is making the country to look bad. That is all. I'm happy to know that you got someone. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section, as I will see you in my next one. Bye.